there are a couple of trends that are currently heavily impacting the K-12 education. I think they are also in some nuances heavily impacting higher education as well. But just to give you a little bit of a feeling what we are talking about. Definitely, COVID times changed a lot about the environments where we are operating, right? From day to day, we needed to switch basically from a full on-prem in the classroom learning to a completely digital learning. I think the path is somewhere in between, right? So when we will see the future evolving and going forward, most probably all of us are thinking of somehow enabling our environments to be enabling kids that are sick to be learning from home, right? If there is another pandemic starting, we will be able to learn remotely, right? I hope not, right? But the physical space within the schools is significantly changing. And it is all connected to the technology. Getting the right technology in, getting the right management tools in, and getting ability to be able to conduct lessons wherever the kids are is, I think, becoming vitally important. The second pillar of the trend that is impacting is learning insights and learning analytics. Some of you that are using, let's say, Office 365 for quite some time, you saw that there are nuances of the insights coming within the Office 365, which enables the teachers to have a better view of how the students are learning, even remotely, how the students are performing on their tasks, how everything is laid out to the teacher so he can do a much better decision making. And this will definitely continue. We will go deeper into analytics, really trying to understand from a wide variety of sources how students are sort of behaving in the classroom. Why is there a certain trend that is continuing with a particular student? What is impacting that behavior of a particular student? And these are all the tools that will help us out surface these problems and these challenges that we have, right? With that, we will basically see a lot of traction there. There is a third pillar connected to it, which is there is cyber war out there, right? And we know that in this particular case, we need to raise up the security bar, right? When we were completely in the classrooms, the technology was used within the classroom labs. It was used for a particular purpose. But when we shifted to a remote and now towards the hybrid learning, all these devices that are out there needs to be somehow protected. And the ransomware has been primarily targeting K-12 sector because, we are here dealing with kids that like to click things that they are not aware of. They like to be triggered by a commercial, and with that, this can significantly impact the performance of the school when they are, sort of blocking the way how we are working, right? Another trend that is impacting as well K-12 is the trend of hiring and retention issues connected to the staff within the education. Usually here we are talking about, particularly in K-12, about the teacher that is having additional responsibility to take care about the large volume of devices, thinking about the security, enabling hybrid learning, right? And, it's very big chunk to deal with, right? At the end of the day, we need to upskill, and this will help us to implement all these technologies in a secured and the right manner in place. And last but not least, it is the adaptive learning, right? So when we will be continuously evolving our education service, education system, right? Connected to that, we will start, implementing new pedagogical methods like one-on-one learning, really making sure that every single student within the classroom is touched, that we basically adjust to the accessibility needs of a particular student. Maybe some students are having better hearing, some of them are having poorer hearing needs. Some of them are having dyslexia. Some of them are having some other accessibility issues. And with the help of technology, we can actually reach every single one of them and leave no one behind, right? So these are all the trends, and I think Microsoft in this journey can significantly help you. We actually prepared a guide, which is methodological guide how the transformation should look like and how the transformation could look like within your organization. It all starts with the leadership and policy change. This is something that we are deeply involved in most of the countries where we are talking really with the ministries. What does that mean, right? COVID surprised us. Some countries performed better, some countries performed poorer, right? That's a reality. But now we are in this stage where we can actually do some policy change and be ready if something like this happens again, right? The second one is how we are transforming the day-to-day teaching and learning processes, how we are moving towards student-centered learning, where we don't want any student left behind, how we are adopting our curriculum, how we are potentially bringing a little bit more technology, digitalizing the books, making sure that every single kid is having access to the technology so they can continuously learn, right? And connected to that, we are transforming the learning spaces, so the physical classrooms, and bringing in the devices which are relevant for the students and the teachers to have a meaningful learning experience, right? Another thing which is part of the education transformation framework is the intelligent environment. What we saw is also a very big shift, especially now connected to the energetics crisis, is schools actually starting to think how they can optimize heating, how they can optimize cooling, how they can use the Internet of Things to optimize all these processes within the schools. With that, particularly save some money, which they can afterwards invest into upskilling of the teachers, which they can invest into new technology, which they will be acquiring and bring into that. And connected to that, it is the physical security, it is virtual security that needs to come definitely on top of it. And last but not least, it's the student success, right? We want our students to be successful in our career. With that, we are basically need to make sure that we are including every single person that is within the organization, that we need to think about the future ready skills, we need to think about the social emotional learning, because these are all the factors that are potentially then bringing the student to be ready for the future and to be able to continue um, as a researcher, as a PhD, as a worker, or whatever they will choose in their career. And you most probably heard a lot of careers which, let's say, our students see today don't exist, right? So there is a very big trend of the completely new jobs that are opening up. And if we do everything right, if we follow certain methodology, we can basically make sure that our students will be ready for the future. They will be adopted they have this adaptability mechanism in their brain, so they will be able to adjust to the future of the work. So how can Microsoft help? I think we have the tools and the subset of things that you can basically implement within the school to make sure that you are meeting the demand of the security, that you are managing the devices and supplying all the relevant application to it, that connected to that you are enabling hybrid learning with the help of Teams, and you have everything in one package. And definitely everything starts with the device. So the device is one primary choice which every single school needs to have in order to start the process. Most probably you have a lot of legacy devices in place, which makes sense that you eventually start to manage, that you plug them into the sort of identity environment that you have, and then through one single glass of pen, you basically manage everything. And we also know that there are different needs, right? There are different applications that you're already using, from the student management system, learning management system, different collaboration tools, and all of them can be basically accessed with a single sign-on. What does that mean is that with one single username and one single password, you log into the device, end to end, you are logged into every solution which the school provides, right? We can even go one step beyond that, which is going passwordless, so students will no longer need to remember their usernames and passwords. We can think about the implementation of biometrics, which would enable really a simplified experience for the students to log in wherever they are. And this basically opens up another layer of our thought. And we talked about the student analytics, right? As soon as we have one common identity approaching throughout all the solutions that you have, you can then start thinking about how you can pull all this data that were acquired throughout all the solutions and all the systems into different dashboards. So different dashboard for the headmaster and for the principal of the school, different dashboard for the teacher, and different dashboard for the student. So they can all see how the entire system is evolving, how the students are progressing, how the teaching process is evolving and progressing, and how the school all up is evolving, even compared to other schools in the nearby region. So all these insights basically give you a lot of power to make a smart decision at the end of the day, whether you are a principal of the school, IT administrator of the school, teacher, or a student. With that, we basically prepared a cloud journey. There is a lot of acronyms here. I will not go through them, but we have basically a guided tour which can help you to go through this journey of the digital transformation and how you are adopting your services. And this is definitely something to look at as your reference guide, saying, yep, these are the components that are my first priority. These are the components that are my second priority. And this is how, as the IT admin, I will be evolving my schools moving forward. And definitely that goes very much hand in hand with the principal of the school or with the leadership team within the university, and how you are basically evolving your journey towards the transformation of your education ecosystem.